Okay, so this is the third time I've tried to make this video, so I'm gonna try to like whip through it and not forget anything, hopefully. And yeah. Okay, so the things that I did and did not like about Australia, that's what this video is gonna be about. I was only there for like 2 weeks, so I really don't have a very accurate, I don't think, an accurate view of what there really is to like or not like necessarily entirely about Australia, but the little bit that I was there, I was able to find a few small things that I didn't like, and then a lot of things that I did like, obviously. So, I'm gonna start off with the things that I did like. First of all, obviously, my sister. I like my sister. She's amazing. She's a sweetheart. She is incredible, and her husband is also equally amazing, and they're so funny and cute together, and I could go on and on. I just love them both. They're just amazing. So, yes, like my sister, number one. Number two, all of the beach views, like, and how easy it was to get to different beaches. Because I'm from Michigan, so I haven't grown up around beaches, number one. But number two, even if I did, it's just it's so easy to go to a lot of different nice beaches. It's just like a half an hour to maximum an hour drive, I think, maybe, and it's right there. So that was just incredible, getting to see all those different scenic places and just even going out on the little jetties. It was just so nice, just families and fishers and sunsets over the ocean, and yeah, it was just, I loved that so much. The clothing was not really much different from what we wear in America. I suppose in Sydney, that was where I saw more people dressed up nicely. And especially when we were at the Opera House at night, obviously people are going to be dressed up for the various things they're going to, and girls. Oh, the girls. You don't have to wear skirts that are that short. Anyway, so the clothing was really nice, that we could just do whatever we wanted and no one would really notice, including sweatpants. I did actually see sweatpants there on a fairly normal basis. Not all the time, but like at the grocery store, I did see it. And the leggings as pants, which is what people are doing all over the world, I would assume. But leggings as pants was completely normal there, like it is here. So, yes. The food obviously was incredible. Like, we were obviously, all the home cooked food that we had was amazing, and also the food that we ate out at restaurants was amazing. It was just a lot of fun to sample the vegetarian dishes at places, as well as some of the not vegetarian dishes, since my friend and I, Annie and I, are not vegetarian. And Ari and Sai were very nice about not forcing us to be vegetarian. But we still had fun with vegetarian food, and it was all really, really good. Um, the whole intercultural aspect of it, I mean, Adelaide's not even that big of a place, and there was people from all over the world there. So I get that here in Michigan, where I'm from, it's fairly intercultural, but there's not really any good, like, hangout conglomeration of people spots per se. So Adelaide, like downtown Adelaide, there's just people everywhere doing all kinds of stuff, especially in the mall area. So that was really fun to just kind of see people from all over the world, especially in the mall. I noticed that the most. The central market was great. There's just so much produce, but also just like chocolate and I think gelato and just goodies of all sorts, and seasoning shops and all kinds of just anything food, or I think there was even like restaurants there and everything food related you can imagine, maybe even more. It was just a lot of fun to go there, and I definitely would miss that, even though there was tons of people. And they say it gets really hot inside the market in summer, which would not be fun, but still, it was a really, really, really cool experience. Lots of fun. Anyway, koalas and kangaroos. Oh my gosh. I didn't, okay, it's not like I saw them everywhere I went by any means, but just the fact that we were actually looking for koalas in trees. Like, because you couldn't actually find them in the trees there. That was just like craziness. So funny. But the only time I really saw a wild koala was when it walked in front of our car. Which, we didn't hit it, let me clarify. But, that was the only time I saw a wild koala, but it was still so cool to be like, what is that walking across the road in front of us? It's a koala! No, that was a lot of fun. So we really liked that. And then, when we went to our first beach, a bunch of wild kangaroos were all around, just lying in the sun and scratching themselves and being super lazy. But it's kangaroos. Like, hey, it's really cool. So yeah, that was fun. And the birds, oh my goodness, there's so many beautiful, cool birds. I'm a big bird person because I'm allergic to everything else. So I like birds. um, and there's just adorable, beautifully colored, just parrots all the time. Well, you could hear parrots on and off many times, and parrotlets, I think they're called, and cockatoos, and some other bird that starts with a C or a P, and it's like white and has a bit of pink on its stomach, and it's a other kind of parrot or cockatoo type thing, and just like everywhere you just see like flights, not herds of cockatoos, but just like a group of birds flying. You just see a big group of cockatoos just flying by, or little parrotlets climbing in all the trees, and it was just normal. It's normal there. People are used to beautiful creatures as opposed to in Michigan where we get sparrows and doves and blackbirds and crows. And they still have crows, but they have a lot of cool birds too. And we don't. So, yeah. And then with Sydney, oh my goodness, the Opera House was just beautiful. I just, especially at night. It was incredible to see it at night, especially during Vivid Sydney. It is so worth it to go when Vivid Sydney is happening because the Opera House just becomes this magical array of just designs and insanity. And if you stand at there was some random area that was a bit of a distance away from the Opera House, but far enough, like you could see it well, but it wasn't right up next to the Opera House. There was some sort of speaker that was actually playing music that was directly linked to what was going on the Opera House roof, all the designs. And so that was really cool. And then there's a lot of other buildings that have projections up on them, and it's just very colorful and crazy, and tons of people all around enjoying it. And I mean, it was the first night, so I don't know if it's always that busy, but it was unusually warm, and it was the first night, so it was a perfect combination to go, and it was just really, really fun. And when we climbed on the bridge, I knew that the Sydney Bridge would be lit up. It was only lit up on one side, unfortunately, but I found out that the colors that the bridge were, because it could be an array of colors, it was changing colors. Apparently, it was selected by people down, in a park a little ways away. There's a big line of people who could, click buttons and choose what color the bridge would light up as. So as you're climbing on this big, massive bridge and it's lighting up all these colors, it's actually due to people way down on the ground choosing it for you. So it was just a really cool, connecting experience, and that was really, really fun. One of my favorite things is there's no tipping. No, because everything's included in the price, so you don't have to worry about tipping. We didn't even have to tip our taxi driver. Annabelle made me tip our taxi driver the first time, and I knew you didn't have to. And so the second time we had a taxi driver, she was looking at me and she's like, "I think, let's give him a few dollars." I was like, "No, we're not. No, we're good." And I clarified with multiple people, "Do you tip taxi drivers?" And they looked at me like, "You're no." Duh, no. So really, you don't have to tip. If you get really, really, really good service, then you can, but I think taxi drivers are out of that really good service loop. I get the feeling. Probably more at a restaurant, and if you do tip, it's only going to be a little bit. It's not 20% of the total. That would be absurd. Yeah, so that was really, really, really great. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else. We didn't run into any dangerous animals, thankfully, or biting insects or anything. We're completely safe, so that was really nice. And the weather was just perfect. It was unusually warm, but I loved it. It made everything so much more magical, really. You could just walk around comfortably in whatever you wanted, not have to worry about bundling up yet. Now it's getting colder, unfortunately, but when we were there, it was perfect. Yeah, and people were really friendly. Whenever I would have a question, really. I mean, it's not everyone I walked by was unusually friendly. In the South, I almost felt in the South in the U.S., not South America, but the southern states, people are a little bit more outgoingly friendly, from my personal experience. But when I would have questions of strangers, what time is it, where do we go, if we want to get on this bus, they were always very helpful. They never acted like I was weird or putting them out or anything, so that was really, really nice. And we had plenty of questions for strangers, so they were very nice to us. Yeah, So now to move on to the things that I did not like, now that it is a 10-minute video, I'll try to go through this a little more quickly. I didn't like the birds. It's not that I lied to you, but the birds, as beautiful as they are so obnoxious to listen to in the morning. Oh my goodness, because they decide 5 o'clock is a perfect time to wake up and start serenading you, and they will just screech and screech and screech. I'm sorry, my sister loves them. I can't stand them. They're so obnoxious to listen to. During the day, it's not so bad because you're awake and it's Australia, whatever. But when it's in the morning, it's like, I am an American and I need my beauty sleep because I am trying not to be insanely jet lagged right now. So please, shut up. Yeah. Anyway, the dollars. I don't even know if they have single dollar bills. So if you have to buy something that's worth $4 and you give them a $5 bill, they will give you a coin back. And so $1 coins and $2 coins are really, really common there. And in America, we hate it when people give us change back. We much prefer to have bills whenever possible. So it's just like, I can't get used to it. And like some of the coins that are smaller denominations are actually bigger than the ones that are larger denominations, and it just gets really confusing. And I don't like dealing with coins, and it's so common. Whatever. The toilets sometimes were a little weird because they had 2 different flushing options most of the time, and you can understand. I don't have to explain why. But the lighter flush sometimes didn't really do enough, but the stronger flush was like crazy. It was like, it wasn't just like a swirl, like at least the toilets that I'm thinking of, water would come from like the top of the inside, and then like, so like, this is gonna be really awkward. Let's say this is where like the tube down the toilet thing goes. Water is going like here, and it'd be like, and it was really strong, and if you're standing too close to the toilet, you might actually get like a little sprayed. I've discovered it was not cool. So that was kind of scary. Did not really like that very much. The heat, like I said, the temperatures were perfect for us, but I cannot imagine how challenging it must be to be there in summer, especially like I've heard Brisbane is just awful. So Adelaide is not quite as bad as Brisbane, but it can still get to be 110, 15 degrees Fahrenheit in summer, which is 45 Celsius, I think, something like that. Yeah, so it can be really, really, really hot. And then my sister was saying, like, on really hot days the sun is blaring down and you have to wear sunscreen when you're there. Absolutely must protect yourself, or like people use umbrellas and wear hats with brims all the time because you will get burned otherwise, period, no questions asked. Her husband said that you could get burned in 10 minutes standing outside without any protection. So yes, she would say like the sun was blaring down from the sky, obviously, and then the ground would be so hot that the heat would be radiating off the ground, and it's just like hot, 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 hot. Oh, that scares me. I like it when it's warm. I don't like it when it's boiling. So that would be not fun at all. And then obviously there was apparently, I don't really know what was around us that was dangerous and biting, but apparently we did have spiders that, like, if they bit you, your flesh would rot and you'd have to go to the hospital. You wouldn't necessarily die, but your flesh would start rotting. So yes, or ants that if they bite your arm will swell up and be inflamed and very painful. So like, and they just treated it like everyday fact. Like, yes, if you leave your shoes in the closet for an extended period of time, you might want to shake them out before you put them on so that you don't die. Not really, but yeah. So like, that was a little unnerving to be like, I feel fine and safe, but in reality, there's lots of little creatures around me that might do me harm. But, I mean, thankfully we didn't run into anything like that, so that was good. The prices of everything is high. Very high at times. Gas is like, I think their equivalent of like $6 to $8 a gallon. More than 5. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, so it's insane. And everything, food, clothing, entertainment, transportation, everything is just expensive. So I did not like that, just because I'm very much a cheap person. I will save money anywhere and any way that I possibly can. And there, it's like impossible. It's just impossible to save money because it's expensive. So I didn't like that. And obviously, like, a time difference is just kind of challenging. Like, when you do go there, I was actually looking at Ryan Higa's some of his Twitter posts, and he was talking about waking up at 7 o'clock in the morning because of jet lag. And wow, jet lag really does you favors. It's true. The first like 5 or 6 days, I woke up at like 5 or 6 in the morning without wanting or choosing to. I would go to bed at like 8 or 9 at night and then wake up at 5 or 6 in the morning. So it's pretty challenging. Coming back, I almost felt was a little easier, but then again, I also just decided to go to bed at really weird hours, which probably didn't help. But yeah, it wasn't quite as bad. Going there was kind of weird. So yeah, I just wish it was closer. I just we could just like shift Australia, just move it like next to, just switch with South America. Yeah, yeah, that's all we need, right? But yeah, so those are some of the things I did and did not like. I'm sorry this video is so long, but no, the likes definitely, at least, I don't know how it sounded to you, but to me, the likes far outweigh the dislikes. I absolutely loved Adelaide in and of itself, even if it's not that big. I loved the outdoor mall, the Rundle Mall, because I've never really been to many outdoor malls when it's warm. I've been to one small one when it was cold, and that's just awful. So yeah, it was just a really fun experience. All kinds of shops and restaurants and people from all over the world are there, and it's just so cool. And then you get all the oceans nearby and the cute, funny, fuzzy, wonderful animals and the loud, obnoxious, beautiful animals and the people, like my sister. Oh, my sister is there, and her husband is just so crazy and charming also, and they're both crazy, but they're both charming, aren't we all? Hopefully. Anyway, I'm rambling now, but yeah, so I really, really loved it. I really, really want to go back. But yeah, obviously there's a few things that I was not too fond of, and if I ever went back, I just have to suck it up and deal with it. So yeah, alrighty, well that's my very long video. I will see you later. Bye.